Hello, welcome. We're back. More God of War. Where did we get up to last time? We uh, defeated the Fury, one of the Furies. Then we discovered that Orcos was working with the Furies, working initially with the Furies, now working to try and undermine them on behalf of Kratos. We went through and did the fight in the Temple of Delphi, and we've recovered some memory, which means we've got power and abilities to do rewinding of time. And I just realized I haven't started captions. There we go. Captions are now live. So if you need closed captions, they are available in the bottom right corner, whichever the right side of the screen is. But yeah, we're just going to jump in. We're on chapter 17. There's 30 chapters. So if we can get to say sort of 23, 24 today, which it's entirely possible we won't, but if we can get sort of halfway today, then we've probably got one stream left for this game, but we'll see what we do. So we'll swap to the full screen. And there we go. Let me just make sure. There we go. So we just had a chat with a random crazy person in a cell. The first, betrayer of Cool. It's kind of funny that, you know, the reboot got rid of all the QuickTime events. You know, but there's still some button mashing for doors and that. It's like there was one like there were three main things for the series. One was the gore, one was the QuickTime, and the other was the nudity. And the reboot got rid of, you know, all but one of the things. A record from the scribe of Hecatoncres. Orcos has escaped. He means to betray his mothers. He came to me before the dawn. He said, there is no escaping the oracle's eyes. Her sight burns with truth.
If neither pleasure of the flesh or glory will return you to us, then there is only one thing left.
Hey Steve, yes.
Not that you have my son's toy. It is your heart that will betray you.
Kratos knew he was close. Close to a time when illusion would have no power over him. Close to the defeat of the Furies, and finally, close to the freedom he so desperately sought.
The sooner we get past Delos, the happier I'll be.
I mean, if you eventually get around to finishing it, you know, yay, but it's obviously not a huge thing you need to worry about. It's not as if it's a brand new release or anything.
They say the great Archimedes built that statue for Apollo.
I mean, if that doesn't scream Uncharted, I don't know what would.
This cursed island. He's gone. Let us leave this wretched place. Quickly, before we are cursed too!
Oh, that's not good. Both the internet not working and the chest infection. with any luck, the chest infection clears up soon, but hopefully the internet comes back sooner. That's good on the internet. Oi, oi, oi. At least the weather hasn't been too hot or gross. Not worried about him, I want the health. I mean, if you're sick in bed, now's the perfect time to go through all 14 developer or publisher previews that I've put together. It's I counted earlier. It ended up being 44,038 words. Yeah, it's a lot. And as I said to one of the guys, it was 5.5 weeks of research and writing. clicky clicky back and forth with the stick. Yeah, Dragon Age Origins is a good one. It's funny, every time I see it, I can never remember. Every time I see the series, I can never remember what the second one was called. Like, I know there's been 3, but I could just never remember what the second one's called. See, that's what I have in my head, but I honestly don't recall. Yeah, I remember it not being that well received. Like, I remember the first one being quite... Oh, yeah, there. Quite a, like a very... Like, it was very Neverwinter Nights in its, design, its approach to everything. Oh. Like, I remember they had a big... Like, they drew a lot of people in with the originality. Well, not originality, but, like, the return to, you know, the old school sort of style, especially after Mass Effect. So I remember that. And then, yeah, 2, I just never remember anything about it. And obviously, Inquisition was a big change. What was that? And... The funniest thing I remember about Inquisition is not the game itself, but it was at a preview event for the game. So it's just before PAX 2014. Yeah, the first year it was at the convention center. There was an EA event, and they were hosting it basically in some dude's living room. It wasn't actually, but it was like all this stuff this guy had collected, and it was in a proper venue and everything. But what I remember most about it was that everything he was doing, everything in that place was like 3 hours to play the game. You know, there were bears everywhere and chandeliers made of antlers and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you if you're right on the money with that, Steve. It's been that long. Man, this guy knows how to enter a room. But the reason why I remember the Dragon Age event so vividly is because Lucy O'Brien, who was of IGN fame for a number of years, she left IGN. I couldn't tell you what she's doing now, but she was at this event, and it was a 3-hour session, and there was no carryover progression for characters. It was whatever was there. Jesus Christ, whatever was there with the you know, whatever you did in that game at that time, that was all you got. See, I don't even think we ended up reviewing the second game. But what I remember about this event, again, Lucy O'Brien was there. So I remember, you know, I just spammed the character creation because I didn't care. And then 3 hours of, you know, just playing the game, talking with characters, doing all the bits and pieces that you do. And she spent the entire time creating a character. She just spent the entire time creating a character. And the thing is, none of the characters came with us. So that's what she spent her time doing. And then at the end of the session, she hadn't actually played the game. And I just remember it because it was such a weird thing. Don't get me wrong, Lucy's an amazing person, but of like, you've gone to a hands-on session with a game to play the game, and you spend 3 hours in one feature. And if we could take the characters with us, it would have made sense. Yeah, two kinds of players, I suppose. But it's very nice that they're finally getting ready to talk about the next game. See, I generally go with just a generic looking character. Like, I'm not saying I have to, you know, do the blandest looking character. My traditional way of doing character creation is I take whatever the default one I've seen in the marketing is, and I just do a variation to that. Well, the Mass Effect Legendary Collection did bring some of them back. Like, you know, brought back the original 3. You know, which is nice. I do wish though that they'd sort of like somebody had spent some time working on 4 and bringing that into the you know, modern day a bit. I'll be honest, I was considering for a time before I settled on God of War for the next series of doing Mass Effect, because I have all the games on my Xbox, which is, you know, it's not here at the moment, somebody's borrowed it, but it normally just sits next to me here. But there's actually a Mass Effect game that people have forgotten, and it's the it's Mass Effect Assault or something. I'm literally gonna have to look it up now because I cannot for the life of me recall what it's actually called. Infiltrator. I said Assault, Infiltrator, the same thing. The problem is it's not playable anymore because it was a 32-bit game. The Legendary Edition, yeah, I think I have it on Xbox because that's yeah, what they gave it to me on. But yeah, so if, you know, I can get a decent Android emulator, which is never a thing because none of them are good, and the only one that's somewhat decent is BlueStacks. But every time you play BlueStacks, it has a hissy fit. Oh, sorry, I'm with it. Yeah, every time you try and play something on BlueStacks, if you don't play it, you know, if it doesn't set up correctly, it just doesn't play. So oh, okay, so the puzzle's not what I thought it was. But yeah, so I did consider doing that. But then I was like, I wonder how, like with a game like that, especially like with the latter 2 God of Wars here, when I do those, I initially was like, okay, do I have to do all the side quests? Do I just, you know, power through them and call it a day? Like, what do I do? But with Mass Effect, it's like Mass Effect, half of the game is exploring and doing side quests and everything else that comes along with it. So if I'm doing, you know, just the main storyline, it's, you know, 4 or 5 hours apart from, you know, grinding to level. It's like, how, you know, entertaining is that? But if I'm spending all this time doing series work, how entertaining is it otherwise? That is true. He is the ghost of Sparta. Yeah, I have an idea, but it's not, I don't think I'm right with it. Welcome in, Mason, by the way. Well, I mean, chronologically, he's not that important at this point. He just, he was just, you know, soldier for Ares, and then broke his oath to Ares. So he actually hasn't done anything, hasn't killed any gods or anything yet. Oh God, when is that? Is that tomorrow or next week? I'm pretty sure I got an offer for a review code for that one too. Should be 3 feathers? 4th feather, yay! Yeah, so look, if there's ever any games that aren't on the list and you want, just, you know, let me know and I can ask. Oh, I knew it was coming, but, you know. Because there was no, you know... Because I didn't get any interest from you, I should say. I didn't think about it. Man, when I dropped this controller the other week, I seem to have done some proper damage to it because, you know, now the X button's not quite working the way it should. That's fine. Should hopefully have a new controller by the next stream. Well, maybe the one after. Hey, look, Ma, I'm a bunion. See, I keep forgetting about Spartan Rage. But like right now, if I tap the D-pad, like it actually has to like click into place if I move away from it. But then occasionally the X button just does not want to work. Oh, sorry, let me rephrase it. It's not that it doesn't want to work. It's just occasionally gets sticky. Like it's out of alignment a little bit, and because of that, it doesn't want to move. Doesn't want to do what it's supposed to. So, but that's fine. As I said, I've when I say I've ordered one, I'm the lead bid on a controller on eBay, and it's a God of War Ascension themed controller because why not? And it's going to cost me a pretty penny, but it's apparently new in box. So I'm just imagining that character, that creature, literally just standing there all day doing that in the hopes that somebody does actually appear. Pair of birdies just sitting there. Maybe they're Odin's ravens. Maybe this is a precursor to what's to come. Oh, look, the only reason that I'm going for the more expensive one off eBay is because it's the God of War Ascension controller. And then when I was looking last year for getting 1 and 2 on disc, whatever, I was looking at getting some games, and somebody in Horsham had the God of War 3 PlayStation Slim, the second Slim model, which is the one that has the looks like a George Foreman grill thing. And it had obviously the red God of War controller and all the bits and pieces. But they wanted like $180 for the console and the game, and I'm like, I don't really need the console because I have a console. But I was tempted just because of the controller. Maybe Odin watching, maybe that was the entire point. Maybe he was watching because he was like, oh, this angry Spartan will end Ragnarok or begin whatever he wanted it to do, who knows. I'd imagine that the gods will have had that conversation at some point. I'm not sure if you were here, but I said a couple of streams back, it'd be cool if, like, the rest of the gods from the world, you know, the South American gods, the Chinese gods, the Japanese gods, all the different gods got together for another game, basically to, you know, here's this guy, he wiped out the Greek gods, he's decimated parts of the Norse gods. I mean, nobody tell Kratos that Zeus reincarnated as Jupiter in Roman times, you know. Like, that'd be a cool thing to have, you know, all the different gods come together to try and stop, you know, just basically trying to kill Kratos, just so, you know, preemptive strike, essentially. Well, that was my thinking, is with everything that Kratos has done over, you know, the 6 Greek games and the 2 Norse games, you know, there would have to be powerful repercussions. Maybe they're not aware of who he is exactly, but, you know, when the gods die, all their energy has to go somewhere. So maybe they're aware of gods dying. Oh, pressed the button too soon and it didn't work. A weird camera angle. I get it, they're focusing on the face, but like the Chinese God of War, I'm gonna have to look this up too, because I remember talking about it a few weeks ago, and I can't actually recall his name. Guan Yu. He is apparently also a shapeshifter, kind of like Loki is a shapeshifter. But the big thing is that one of his major forms is a massive tiger. Like, that would be an impressive thing to have. Sorry, that's not him. Anyway, there's a Chinese guy, but the big thing is that he has this ability to turn into a tiger, and it's not just a regular tiger; it's like a massive tiger, through manipulation of astral energies, and be like, that'd be the sort of thing that would like really make a boss fight different. Is that depending on what you were doing, you'd never know if the you know the boss was going to become a tiger or a regular. Well, that's the thing. So with Immortals Phoenix Rising, the game that from Ubisoft was basically Zelda, but, you know, Greek. They, one of the DLCs was literally going, it's like a Chinese mythology thing, and the Chinese mythology DLC was made by Ubisoft Chengdu, who's actually in China. And that DLC was actually quite fun. I mean, it didn't change anything drastically from, you know, gameplay wise, but, you know, new characters, new setting. It was just fun. Oh, piss off, electric pain in my ass. It was one of the things that annoyed me about Assassin's Creed Origins is when they finally did some DLC that was like connecting to mythology. They didn't really do much. It was basically just a few little talks, and it's like that was it. It's like you finally went into the mythology of ancient Egypt and you didn't do anything with it. I got an email about that overnight. They've put a demo out for the game. You know, months after it actually released, they finally put a demo out for it. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I kind of understand why they would at this point. They need people to buy the game, but it's like generally a demo helps you sell a game in the early days, not months later. Oh, I saw a chest there, but enough with the bloody bugs. Well, that's the outside. Let's not go that way yet. There we go. One of the best things, and this is making me really old now, but it would have been 2008, 2009. It wasn't the first year we had the Xbox 360 here. It was the second or third year. And when E3 happened, Xbox distributed a bunch of E3 builds as demos via Xbox Live. This was before the summer of gaming, or the winter of gaming for us. They sort of said, hey, you know, we've got these things, rah, rah, rah. And yeah, they put a bunch of E3 demos out, and they said, obviously, hey, these are demos. They're, you know, not complete. They're not, you know, potentially 100% working all the time, rah, rah, rah. And people loved it. And then randomly, for whatever reason, Nintendo started putting demos in like Best Buy in America. Like that was the extent of their stuff. They were just doing demos. It didn't make any sense. A weird camera move. Like, why pan the camera out that way? But Xbox never did that again. They never put E3 demos on the marketplace. And it just made no sense to me, because I'm like, you know, you've got your people here ready to play your games. Instead of just being the same, you know, business people all the time, it's like, here's a whole bunch of, oh, here we go, a whole bunch of new, you know, sometimes it's easy just to kill them with a regular attack and not do that weird thing. Yeah, I don't know. I always like demos, especially like, I know game magazines aren't a thing these days. There's always something special, like with the PS2 era and the Xbox era. Error, not error. That doesn't help captions. Error. Okay. See, I know a lot of people are hyped on that game, but there's something hinky with the developer. Not saying they're a bad developer or anything, I'm just saying there's something hinky with it. Oh. The problem is it's also like the 17th adaptation of bloody Journey to the West in the last decade. Like, say what you will about the number of origin stories for superheroes, at least it's not retelling the same story over and over and over again like that bloody thing gets lumped doing. Like Ninja Theory? I'm pretty sure it was Ninja Theory. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, somebody created one for Bandai Namco, and I'm pretty sure it was Ninja Theory. We get to their games. Yeah. Enslaved Odyssey to the West. This was 2010. Player takes the role of monkey in a third-person perspective. Rah, rah, rah. It's like a very loose adaptation of it, but I found a stack of PS4 promo discs today. Yeah, Enslaved was a fun game, but it's like there's just only so many times you can, retell that same story. And I lied too. So it wasn't Bandai Namco, it was just Namco back then. They hadn't merged. What do you think about the rumor that the Gears of War titles are getting a collection this year? So I remember Monkey very vividly. It was always on SBS. Oh, I think I got 2 ahead of the game. There we go. Yeah, I remember watching that, and then there was more bloody bugs. Yeah, so I mean I have all the games digitally because it's just I think I bought them at some point. They were like $5 each. But the rumor is that the collection won't be full remakes. They'll basically be enhanced ports. So they're being ported over from the Unreal 3 engine, I think they were made in initially, into Unreal 5. So they'll look better and they'll run better. But like they're not doing like the God of War, the Gears of War remake that they did for the first game. They're not doing that for these. That's the rumor. Who knows how how true it is.
You leave an army in disarray. Return to us, General. Lead us to victory.
You do not exist. You are of my mind.
Return to your roots. Return to who you are, Spartan.
We only mean to bring you home.
My home is in Sparta!
Sister, show him what Sparta does to a traitor!
I was gonna say, we have already killed that one, but now I forgot we're 2 weeks in the past. This is not Sparta.
Fighting. Where you belong. Be restored. We will do things right. Out of my way! Let me show you how it's done!
Yeah, I think we established it last week or last stream that the timeline in this game doesn't make a lot of sense.
Alter his vision, sister! I know what you are, Oathbreaker!
That's honestly, as I was, when I got the Zeus one. Oh, wrong button that time. When I got the Zeus lightning, I was like, what? Zeus wouldn't help a random mortal. Oh, all 4 of them are out of place. I just wanted the Hades one because I got sick and tired of the other one that I had. See, I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy watching the...
My arm! You will pay!
Come, sisters. Together we will defeat this mongrel.
I think the only reason why I had the water one on was because I had... I think it gives you health back if you kill enemies a certain way.
Come, my lovely. If pain is what he shows us, then pain is what he shall receive.
Oh, I didn't see the little thing above their head to say, you know, they're staggered.
No more! I will kill you myself! It is heartless to keep him alive! He must die!
Now is the life of a warrior. I will not tolerate this. Shall return the favor.
Maybe that's why you haven't finished this D. You played on the hardest option. So my thing was, this game has an easy mode, and I think Ghost of Sparta does, but 1 and 2 don't. They're you know, you have the game, or you can play harder, and then I think 3 has some accessibility options, but I don't believe there's a difficulty setting in it. So I was just like, if I'm playing through all of them, I'll just do it on normal, which is the default for most of the games, and that'll be easier for me to deal with.
It is heartless to keep him alive! He must die!
I will deliver this mortal to us.
Man, I got getting decimated at this point.
I will deliver glory to Ares. I will not tolerate Now you shall return the favor!
That bird thing is too OP, I tell you. Son of a bitch, I hate when they do that. They gotta do it all again because they threw a stick move in out of nowhere instead of just regular buttons. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. How did that not work as a move? I did the bloody motion. And I did. That's annoying as sin. Let me change back to the not Hades one. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not a problem with this singular fight. It's a problem with all the fights in all the games. It's sometimes the checkpoints just don't line up with what they should be. Man, I'm not doing well this time at all. Ah, use R to evade attack. No shit. I love how sometimes it doesn't pick up on things.
It is pointless to keep him alive. He must die.
The life of a warrior. I will deliver this mortal to him. I will deliver this mortal to him.
What makes you say that, Steve? I mean, that would have pierced Kratos then, as well as her, but, you know, whatever.
Enough! It is time, Kratos. Return to your rightful place. Perhaps, if you serve your purpose well, you will even end up on Olympus one day.
Ah,
Never
that
serve
would
Ares
probably
again.
make sense then.
Your methods fail us, Megara. I will take care of him. You will return.
Death first.
I should have done this a long time ago.
Orcos! This is what you align with, Spartan?
This time, you will fail.
What have you done? You pathetic weakling! Find them! You will never reach the Lantern, Spartan!
That voice sounded very familiar.
You will never reach the eyes now that my mothers know you are after them. This power helped me escape Hecatoncheires.
And what will happen to you?
If you do not succeed, my fate is sealed regardless. Alecto has destroyed the only path that leads to the Lantern.
before I could have told you how to get to it, but now you will need to find a new way.
The Oathstone of Orcos. I'm just looking at the cast for this game. I love how in the listings in the IMDb page, Terrence Carson or TC Carson, who's the voice of Kratos in this series, isn't the top billing. Troy Baker's been given top billing. Aha, that would be why it sounded familiar. That's Jennifer Hale. Jennifer Hale is, of course, the voice of Fem Shep in Mass Effect. Yeah, look, I mean, 2K in sports games, you can pretty much predict. I know Nika Futterman, like I know her name. What was she in? She was in something. There was something specific that she was in. Sandra. That doesn't ring a bell. I'm literally looking through the IMDb page because I'm like, I know that I know the name from something. I'm just trying to work out what it is. Oh, there you go. Asajj Ventress from Clone Wars. The secret apprentice of Count Dooku that wasn't so secret. That's who Nika Futterman is. That's why I know the name. But yeah, as I was saying too, with 2K in sports games, WWE and NBA generally have the same release window every year. It's in the Take-Two publisher preview, but HB Studios have done a golf game every 2 years. The last one was 2022, so they're due for one this year. And I'm not kidding, I posted it, and I was talking with the 2K guys on something. He would have done the combat mocap, yeah. I was talking with 2K about something else, and I sent them. I said, "Hey, I've written this just so you know." And then the next day, they announced Topspin, and I'm like, I literally sent it to them again. I said, "Listen, I told you this yesterday. I feel like 2K is listening to me, and they've done this just to undercut me." But so far in my previews, there was that one, Plants vs Zombies from EA was announced today. Ubisoft announced a new game, and there was somebody else that did it, and I can't think of who it was now. No, I can, but I can't say. Aha, secrets. But yeah, so they announced it. They announced something after I shared the link with them, and I'm like you've got to be kidding me! It just undercut. So 4 different people have undercut my stories. Just makes me laugh. Again, so the wrestler you know, being that physique. So every time, I can't help it, but I hear Tilk in Chris Judd because he played Tilk for like 14 years in Stargate. See, what was funny is I was talking with somebody about something else, and again, secrets. But I literally sent them the thing and said, hey, you know, just, you know, I've already got this in here in my preview, rah, rah, rah. And they're like, okay, thanks for letting us know. And then, you know, then they have something. And it's like, you sons of bitches. So this X button not working correctly is starting to annoy me. Well, that's the funny thing is, like, so when I did the top spin, I'd actually heard rumors of it happening in 2022, right? That work was starting on it again. And so I put it in last year's article, and then nothing happened from it. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it was like early days or something. But then last year, 2K laid off a whole bunch of people, so I was like, oh, maybe that's what's happened. They're laying people off for whatever reason, right? And then I'd heard the rumors again last year, and I'm like, this is kind of annoying. Speaking of annoying, I don't want to use the bloody stone. Thank you. So I put it in there, and then, yeah, the day after I announced it, the day after I put it in the story, they announced the game, and I'm like, you sons of bitches. I like how the captions auto censored when I said bitches. Oh, this time it didn't because it misunderstood what I said. But this is something that I hated about the older games too. It's like, you've gotten a new ability, and until you use it enough times, they just keep spawning enemies. It's like, you need the practice. It's like, no, I don't. It's just a lot of goats and bugs. That's the other thing too, is by this point this was the last game in the Greek era. So they kind of went, what's left that we can milk? Unfortunately, there was not a lot left that they could milk, so. So very bloody Uncharted, though. Like, I don't remember him doing this much climbing in the earlier games. I mean, he may have, I just don't recall it. Well, I mean, the overarching story isn't too bad because the Furies never appear in any of the other God of Wars. So the Furies weren't around in the original one. They weren't around in, I think it's 3, when he ends up down in Hades. Or Tartarus, I suppose, in... Oh, yeah. I didn't know it was a spinny one. I thought it was a pendulum one. So yeah, so they don't appear anywhere else in the story. So they're not a problem. The Hecatoncres is not a problem. And the fact that it's sort of set in like a month-long period with a lot of flashbacks helps keep it somewhat self-contained. Oh, we're back here, are we? Oh, not you, you daft, annoying character. Oh, it's such an annoying enemy. It's like... It's not because they're strong or anything. There's stronger enemies in the game. It's like, I literally... Has this one attack, that one there. We'll just do like stab, 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 stab. And once they're in it, once they start actually hitting you, you can't block it. Right, now I gotta get away from here and try and get that health chest. Oh, look at that. I died as I was respawning health. Talk about utter bad game design. Why am I not immune when I'm refilling health? guarantee I'm back on the other side of that chasm. Nope. Okay. I'm just going to grab this health now while I've got actual health to prevent me from dying. Oh, not a time to stumble. Yeah, unfortunately, Lies of P has a problem that it is what they, you know, the people who love it are the Dark Souls fanboys, or the FromSoft fanboys. They're like, oh, it's a great game because it's so much. It's like, I have this argument. I'm dead. Oh no, no. Give me some health back. I need health. Right, there we go. Bad dog. Honestly, I was so down to my last little bit of health then when I killed the spear woman. Oh. Yeah, no, Lies of P has the distinction of being a FromSoft clone and not as good as a FromSoft game. But the problem is, and I've said this before and I will repeat it over and over again, the FromSoft game design is bad game design. Oh, there's the thing. I mean, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of, which one's better, Lies of P or Dark Souls or whatever. I just personally think that Dark Souls is bad game design. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm actually looking at the damn thing, you stupid game. I don't think FromSoft games are good. And everyone's like, oh, if you just get good at it, it's like there's a difference between a game punishing you because it's a challenge and punishing you because you don't understand that 17 frames of an attack is when they're invulnerable to anything you can do and blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know. We've got to go more up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the FromSoft games. If people enjoy them, that's fine, but same way that many JRPGs aren't for me, these are not for me either. Get fuck's sake, game. I'm not trying to fight and I'm not for fuck's sake. Yeah, the get good mentality, it's the same thing that I have with professional fighting game players. And I say professional in the loose term there. But they're the people that literally count milliseconds of time between animation frames. And when they decimate you in an online match, because you haven't played this game in 6 years or whatever, they act like they're king shit because they're finally, they beat you, and it's like, no, enough with this crap. That's not how it goes. Fucking game. I love how it censors me sometimes, and then other times it doesn't. No, not... Ignore them. Jesus Christ. That's why this series pissed me off, is there's no lock-on. So you're always just at the mercy of whichever bloody enemy the game decides it wants to focus on for a time. Stay on the damn button. Oh, pro player of anything is always insufferable. Oh, fuck's sake. Just get on the damn button. Enough with the bullshit thing. Fucking game. Yeah, it's one of the reasons, like, every time people are like, oh, you know, are you going to go to this esports convention? I'm like, no, why would I do that? I'm not going to the AFL. I don't give a shit about somebody who thinks they're better at Counter-Strike than me, or who thinks that their ability to play Street Fighter and punch somebody 4.6 milliseconds faster is better. It seems like a good place to end for this stream, because mostly that section pissed me off. Like, you have to use the double to press the button down, but you can't do that when combat because the game auto locks to a random character. That's fine, we saved. So I keep pressing start for the pause menu, but it's not. Oh, hang on, it's still saving. Let's see where we got to in this one. I said I was aiming for 23, 24. 22. Okay. There's 30 there. So we did 5 chapters in this stream. So if we hang around a bit longer on Monday, then we'll have the game knocked out by then, depending on how successful we are with fights and whatnot. Let me go to this one. But otherwise, you know, it'll be Thursday. But either way, we'll have the game done next week. So yay for us. What I'll do is I'm going to raid Milky. She's a VTuber friend. So yeah, it's one more stream of this, and then I forget every single time which one it is next. I'm pretty sure it's Chains of Olympus. Chains of Olympus, yeah. So I put the series in the thing. But yeah, so Ascension now, then Change, then 1, then Ghost, then Betrayal, and then 2. Excuse me. So yeah, so we're making good progress. I figured for the PS2 era, PS2, PS3 era games, probably be about a month per game, which would take us up to like June. Because Betrayal, I'm only going to play that for shits and giggles. No, you're missing one. You're missing between Ghosts of Sparta and 2 is God of War Betrayal. You're missing a game there, Steve. So yeah, that'll be the plan. That one I'll play for like 5 minutes as a joke, because it's not that great of a game. But I'll play that, and then we'll move on to 2. But yeah, by the time I hit God of War 3, we should be like by May or June, and then there'll be a brief break because of the game, season in June, and then basically we get July, August, September, October, November to finish off the 2 massive God of War games. Essentially, that's the ballpark timeline for this, which is really weird to say about what I'm doing in November. It's not even the end of January. I'm like, oh, in November I'll be playing God of War Ragnarok. I did reach out to PlayStation 2. They're going to send me some God of War swag. So we'll see what we get from them.